Good. Test, test. That's good. All right. Looks like we are red eye. There we go. Howdy, folks. My name's Dave. I'm a woodturner. Thanks for joining me on this Woodturning Wednesday. Working on, or continuing to work on a project, this salt box, and then I'm going to be moving into hollowing a piece of green red oak crotchwood. Looks very interesting. Anyway, so we're going to start off with this guy first. All right, so I got a variety of tools, but I've got this fella that's all glued together. I will mount this guy, and I have to say, I think life is pretty groovy. I've drilled two holes here. One hole goes in this direction, the other hole goes in that direction, and the idea is that I'd start off in those holes with epoxy, wrap it around, and then wind up at the end right in that hole. We'll see how that works out, but um, I decided to start with this one first, which points me this way, which actually works out way better than where I was going to start. I was going to start here. And I need to put a little bit of pressure on this guy twisting this wire. So if I'm pulling this way, then there's a possibility this could spin out. So uh, unbeknownst to me, things have worked out in a better situation. So I think that's pretty neat. Turns out that it makes more sense for me to twist it this way so that I'm working against the threads on the headstock. And I need to stretch this out just a bit. Try to straighten it out. What I need to do first is get a good idea of the length I'm going to need to work with. And so I brought my magic tennis ball here. I want to give myself a little bit of holdback, but not mar up the bottom of that dude. I don't have to turn the lathe on. It's just pressure against this, so I don't have to try to force this open to hold on to that. Try to keep all the pressures and all that stuff down as much as possible because I've got a few cracks in here. All right, so, and I don't want to open them up, I guess is the the point. All right, so first thing I need to do is bend this over just a bit. And this groove that I made, I did it with a parting tool. Okay, that's going to be a little interesting, but this will be about right, actually. And then I got to figure out how I'm going to get that dude down in there. So I know basically I need about this much length. And what I need to do is cut this down to size. But I also want to make sure that it's not going to try to fray on me. Let's see if I can get it to hold steady here. And make sure it's not going to fray on me. I probably should have marked that. So let's do this again. Okay, so that setup might work okay. And I may need to adjust my scallops here on the handle a bit, but again, I'm going to be putting more pressure getting this wire as tight as I possibly can. And it's very possible, okay, so right in there, that I may wind up, yeah, go a little bit further this way, soldering it in place right there, which is okay too. This solder won't really detract too much from the look of it, I think. At least as long as I can get it to flow well and I'm not clumsy with it. Okay, let's get this guy set. You, whoops, no. You stay. Okay. So I had my soldering iron going over here off to the side. Let's put a little bit of flux here. And this is brass and copper wire. And I took, basically it's a 2-to-1. I took 2 copper wires and 2 brass wires. And then folded them in half. So basically I had 3 wires to start, folded them in half, and then twisted it all with my drill and a cup hook. And I got 6-stranded wire. What do I do with the solder? There it is. So this is just keep the wires from fraying apart when I'm stretching things around. Let's see if I'm hot enough yet. Should be really close. Whoopsie daisy. You have to stay put. See if I get my military spec soldering done. Okay. The military spec is you just enough solder to get things to stick together. You want to see the wires. All right, so that's done. I can move this guy out of the way now. Okay, I will be right back. I'm going to take all this stuff inside, the soldering iron and all this stuff. All right. Oops. Put that right there. Which means I need to grab this box. Okay. All right, so first thing is I'm going to cut this. Well, I want to leave a little bit here so this end doesn't fray either. And that stays together. Could this wire to hold it. There we go. Put that aside for a minute or 12. Okay. So now lock my headstock down. Hold on a second here. I may have to. There we go. Oopsie daisy. And I may do that. If I need to do that, I'll solder here as well. That's okay. I may need to do that. That's fine. All right, now I really could use the hold back. There we go. So let's say that is definitely too long. I want to be able to get it into there and twist around. So if I get that up and over. Oh, yep, I do need to adjust those scallops in there. Okay, so actually I can stuff it in there. That will work. Okay. Cool, cool. I think so anyway. If I can get, well, let's see. All right, first of all, let me address these scallops because they're not quite wide enough for both wires. Where is my rat tail? Or a rat tail. I have more. There's more than one here. There's that one. Now where's my coarse guy? Oh no, that's oops. Okay. Oh, a little bit more light on that subject. See if that's wide enough now. Not quite on this end. That might be all right. Okay, so the tricky bit will be getting it up underneath there. Now it looks like I may have to solder this, and that's okay. I knew that was a possibility. So I can bend all of this up into place. Yeah, okay, that'll work. I'll do it that way. So I'm gonna grab. Guess I'm grabbing the soldering iron again. Let me put that file away. And I don't think I need the rest of that stuff, but okay. Got that and that. nice thing too is that with a brass brush, I can burnish where I soldered, and that will make it, it'll burnish it a little bit and give it a little bit of gold color so it kind of blends in a little bit better, but the solder won't be heavy anyway. As you can see on this, it's not real heavy. You still see color through in a lot of places there. There's a little bit of clump of solder right there, but anyway, that's mil spec solder. Working in the electronics repair industry, man, did not see a lot of that. Saw a lot of wave soldering, and that is basically they just run. Yeah, it's gonna have to wait a few minutes. They just run the boards. They clean the boards and they run them through a bath, and then they run them through a come on, Dave. A flux that hits the traces and all that, the pads, all that stuff. And then they run it right through a solder machine, and so it just rains liquid solder down on it, and the solder sticks to those pads and traces that have the flux, and then falls off the rest. And they just do multiple boards that way, and they will take the like surface mount components, glue them in place on the board before they do that. And then as that board goes through and then it rains the solder down, it solders everything in place, which is kind of interesting. I've never worked on a wave soldering machine, but I've worked on the aftermath many times, and sometimes that was not a good soldering process. Oh, we're almost there. Cool. Let's tin that dude. That over there. Don't quite need that yet, but I am going to hit it with the solder. Oh my, okay, so that means that I need to tighten this just a little bit, because I shouldn't be able to turn that on the chuck. I don't want to tighten it so much that it opens up and crack opens up. Okay, so from here, that's where I need to bend this into place. Okay, first of all, I need a hold back. Set that right there. And that should give me a really nice bend. Take a drift punch and push that stuff in there. Okay. Whoops, I forgot to open this guy. This is going to be interesting. Alright, so we'll just hit. That's not right. Okay, so I'm going to have to push down at the same time. First off, let's get rid of the flux on my finger. I think I set myself up with a little tricky situation here. But at least I'm not pulling the whole thing towards where the threads would unseat. That would make it even more difficult. All right, let's get that pushed into place. And then this pressed down again. Come on. There we go. And it looks pretty good. So let's apply just a bit of flux there. Easy there, killer. All right. There. Don't need much. Don't cool down on me. Okay. Now I can finish wrapping that. And I'll have to press that in. This was kind of fun to make, like I had it stretched all the way across the living room. But it hails, I mean, I got the experience helping make rope for Boy Scouts. Is kind of how they do it. Weave the rope that they're going to use for projects. And I can't remember which merit badge that it goes along with too, but it is a requirement for a merit badge as well. Nice. It's pressing in really, really nicely. Okay, hold back. I do have to be careful with this wire because it's work hardened now. It wasn't dead soft wire, but twisting it still work hardened it, and I didn't anneal it because I didn't want to. Well, I guess I could have pickled it. Well, I don't know. I'm not sure how I would have cleaned this off after annealing. Yeah, baby. It's actually working out nicely. Okay, so I need to. Well, be that way then. All right, we got to redo that. So I think I might be able to help myself out here if I go ahead and hit that with solder. Since I'm going to have some on the other side. Tin. There we go. What did you do with the solder, Dave? There it is. What did you do with the slobber? Alright, so don't need a lot. So I'm I'm just going to load my iron there. And I might scorch the wood a bit. That's okay. The wood itself is a great thermal barrier. Okay, that'll keep that in place. So it cools down the soldering iron real fast. Okay, there we go. So I need to solder. Did I put it back? I did. All the way up into here. So a little bit more flux. Come on now. There it goes. Nicely done. It's a little warm still. All right, let's grab this guy. And press that in. Where'd my tool go? There we go. So I know where exactly to cut it. Right there. And in that orientation. Double check. Right there. And so now with that soldered together, that won't fray. All right, I'm going to have to add some solder because it's still just a shade long. Almost said chaise longue, or at least it almost sounded like that. So we'll add a little bit more slobber over here. There was, when I worked for Ultimate Electronics headquarters in Denver, there was another military vet that worked at the repair center. And he would often, apparently he would often, when he was working on something, hold the solder between his lips. And so we would call it slobber, and we would remind him, don't put the slobber in your mouth. A bad way to get lead poisoning. Okay, right there. I am not looking. Right there. make a cut? I don't think I made a cut. Let's double check. I did not. Okay, that much, I think. Still just a shade too long. I think that'll press in there okay. Watch, I'll get it pressed in, and it's just a little bit too long because where I measured it wasn't pressed in. Hopefully that's not the case. Wasn't fully seated when I... I wonder. I think I might grab my nylon mallet here. But let's carry on and see. Sure enough. I think I can make it work though. But I am going to go grab that mallet. Help me drive that wire into that groove and not mark it up. And hopefully at the same time also not marking up the timber. Okay. There we go. That's better. Oh, how funny. Like starting hearing little noises. I'm like, what the hell, where's that coming from? And it's the shroud on the motor of the lathe is rattling a little bit. Ouch. Ow. That was silly. All right, so we will hold it with that then. Move some stuff around. I sure thought that seated well. Uh-oh. What's going on? Ah. Tapping on the salt box itself. um, loosened the chuck up a little bit. Well, not the chuck, but loosened the piece. All right, let's try it this way. I don't have a brass drift punch, or I'd use that. Come on. Alright, might be getting somewhere now. Of course. I'm not holding it properly, so of course it would fall out of my hands. Whoa. Okay. Whoops, you know what? That would be helpful. Come on now. Really being careful, trying not to mark the wood up. Alright, let's see if I can. Ooh, yeah, okay. A little bit more. Spin this just a tad. And I think we're home. Oh, no, don't pop back out. No. Please do not pop back out. I want you to stay right where you are. Nope, stay there. Okay, so I'll have to hold that little bit in place. And that is still just a shade long now. I was right. That not measuring it where it was seated would leave me with still slightly too long. There we go. Where's my punch? Okay, where is it? There it is. Don't want to twist it too much because it'll snap it off. Where'd it go? There it is. Can I get it? There we go. Beautimus. Whoops. So what I need to do now is grab a clamp. I'll maybe do it without these feet. There we go. Groovy. Stay. Okay, a little bit of flux. A little bit of flux from the flux capacitor. There we go. And a hot iron and some of this stuff. Come on, there we go. All right, that can come off. Set you there for a second. And I got that already. Do I want to add 2 more? Whoop, oh, that one did not get seated. Okay, we got to do that again. Where's it? There it is. Almost, but not quite. All right, stay. All right, let's do this again. A little more flux. Come on now. Okay. I think that got it. Solder out of there. Oops. Oops. Okay, let's check again. groovy. Yeah, you know, I think I will. Put a little solder here. There we go. Oops. Burnish that guy. Oops. Thought I got some flux and I didn't. Okay. Now let's take a brass brush to that. Clean off that flux too. All right. So that is finished, other than putting the lid on it. So I will do that this evening, mix up some epoxy and set that. And then I should be able to show, well, yeah, I'll be able to show it to you next week. Or sooner if I stream again, outside my normal schedule. It's warming up for a little while out here. Dropping back down into the cooler temps in about a week, I guess. And I was out checking out the bee yard today. The bees are definitely out. They were definitely out today doing cleansing flights, buzzing all over. It's unfortunate that there's really nothing for them to go after for nectar or pollen. Not yet, anyway. But soon the maples will be budding, and I guess that means that, I was told today, I guess that also means the maple syruping will start. All right, so there we go, and that's nice and solid. That'll work. So I'm going to put the lid on tonight. I'll go set this inside and clean up the rest of this stuff, get it out of here, and we'll go back to this piece of red oak. Cool, that one's actually done. one of those situations where I set myself up. I figured I'd start, a project and do something new and different on the channel, and do like an entire project that, since I'm only working on it while I'm streaming, took much longer than I had anticipated. Okay, let's see. Whoop, no, this one goes down here too. But we are at the finish line for one of them and close for the other. Move my other side. Okay. So that brings us to this guy. I don't know, that's not a... Oh, I forgot about that. Magic tennis ball has to go. Ooh, let's see. Will I have a use for it? Put it back in its drawer. I'll know where it's at. And if I need it, it's just a few steps away. It's put back and it's not underfoot. Okay, so there's this really nice piece of red oak crotchwood. Now I don't know. I'm hoping that bringing this in close enough, you can see this figure running up here. It's really curly cues and swirls and stuff. It's really neat. And then on basically the exact opposite side is all this feathering, which will really pop once it's got finish on it. So I want to finish the outside shape. So I want to make it just a little bit domed, I think. Sort of. Okay, let's move that over. Tra-la-la, where is it? There it is. First thing I gotta check, since it has, it sat in a bag overnight, but alright, it's a little bit out of true. It's moved just a little bit, but it's not enough to stop me. So, oh, I should move that wire too. That's gonna be in the way or get lost. Okay, so I wanted a bowl gouge. Hmm. You know what would be pretty cool? I wonder if I can do that. If I part off a little bit of this, or better yet, use a completely different color. In fact, I think I've got mulberry. This would be fairly striking against that. White would work, black would probably be better. And then do like a shrink box, which means I'm going to want to use this piece so it will shrink, at least in theory, at about the same rate. Okay, let's think about this. This is an interesting. See, if I do that, I can create a bead here, and then a inset rabbit on the inside that I could pop that lid into. And that might be pretty cool. Then I could hollow this whole thing without having to get the hollowing rig out. Although, I don't know, I probably will use the hollowing rig just because it's like 6 inches long. And my tool steels are not long enough, at least not my yeah, not long enough to get to the bottom. So it looks like I'm not getting away from that, but if I can turn that to the right size, pop it into place after I hollow all this, that might be pretty cool. I think I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna try it. What the heck? Why not? Okay, so let's shape this part. Oh, another piece of wire I need to get rid of. Let's move that. I don't know if I can use it at some point because it's 1.5 inches long. Maybe use it for another project. Or I need a really short piece. Okay, now if I do that, and then I could drill like a stupidly small hole in it. Yeah, yeah, that would be something fun to play around with. I think I'm going to need. Let's see, how do I want to do this? It's going to be a hole there. I think I'll leave it. I think I'm going to, yeah, I'm going to bevel it just a bit. Maybe just a bit more. And then right there, let's see, I'm going to need a little bit more. So I need to figure out what my wall thickness is going to be, and we'll just call it 1/4 inch. Because that just sounds about right. So somewhere in there. So I will need to take this down a little bit. So 1/4 inch. So I need to turn this. Oh, heck. Okay. I'm going to have to get fancy. That's the guy. Okay. So I'll give myself about a 1/16 of an inch dovetail. I'm going to part this off and put another dovetail on the other side, another tenon, but that's the part that's going to be inside, so nobody's going to see that. And then I can actually finish off this surface the way I want to, without it being all the way out here on the end of this guy. A lot more vibration can happen out here. Okay, I don't need that. Oh, so that can get put away, actually. Since it's currently needed. Oh, I did need my parting tool. And yeah, that guy. Okay, so I'm going to taper this down a little bit. I eventually want to end up with slightly less than 1/4 of an inch, I think. Oh, that reminds me, I need to double check and make sure that that's actually what I've got here. I've got some threading tools and stuff like that. There we go. That I bought to learn how to thread, but my lathe goes both of my lathes go way too fast to thread. So at some point I will have. Okay, that'll work even better. So what is that? 3/16? Essentially. Okay, so I need to wind up with 3/16 here. Just a little bit less. So it pops into the groove that I'm going to make with this tool. So I want to have about 1/4 of an inch wall thickness. I'm going to give myself that. You know what? I'm going to give myself 1/8 of an inch on that side. So I can slope up. I think, well, yeah, I'll give myself 1/8 of an inch instead of the 16th. So here is where I want to start parting. I wonder if this probably won't be long enough. Nope. This is more for the shorter guys, or the narrower pieces. Well, you know, it'll get in there far enough to get my saw in there. That'll work. Because I just don't, I want to use as little of this as I possibly can. I think I'm going to cut off too much. I'm trying not to hesitate, but yeah. So let's say here instead. And that should be 3/8. Yeah, I think that should work. And probably still taking a little too much off, but I can make adjustments after I get this guy out of here. Okay, so I want to strike a line there, and strike a line there, and then we'll go with this guy. far in there. Nope, I can go a little bit further. Let's back this off just a touch. That'll do. All right, so that worked out really well. Now I just need to get my saw in there. Let's put these guys away. Don't need that parting tool anymore. Da 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 da. There we go. Okay, so I should check something first, and I don't need this anyway at the moment. Key, pencil, number 1, number 4. Mark it so I can, in theory, get it back into the same spot. I need to make sure that this is not too small for this chuck. Okay, cool. Hey, now. See, the metal is already oxidizing the red oak. Okay. Well, I guess I had an internal tenon that was thicker than I expected, although this is also a fine tooth saw and it's cutting into green oak. Okay. Groovy. Okay, let's get this guy situated. Nice. I don't know, I may go to 320 on that. I'm not sure. Okay. This guy first. So let's see. I think I want to have a beaded top here. What is that? Uh-oh, what's that? Nope, it didn't. Okay, I thought I pulled a chunk of my tool off or something that was stuck to it, but I think it was probably, well, I don't know what it was. Something to do with the wood, clearly. I don't think it was sap. I'm not really getting sprayed here, but and then roll that over. I'm too low, aren't I? Just a bit. Just a little bit. Okay. All right. Now that that's rolled over, well, once I sanded that, I can start opening it up. Okay, now that should be a quarter of an inch. Nice. Okay. Thinkity think. Hold up a second here. Let's see. No, I think I want it a little bit thicker, but that's okay. This is going to work out just fine. Let's get that lined up. Yeah, that's going to look really nice inset into there. That's going to look really cool. If I pull that off, not saying I'm going to, that's just the plan. Okay. Want to double check and make sure that I'm actually broadcasting here on Twitch. Yep, okay, cool. Good enough for me. Okay, let's tighten this down a bit. Wow, I'm actually still a little bit low. I think maybe a little bit high now. Let's move that back. Nope, still a little bit low. So I'm going to dial this in. I want to make sure I don't have any vibration going into this hole. Oh, a little bit more up. You know what? I'm going to switch to a larger spindle gouge. So that probably looks really boring from up top. Now I'm probably too high. Surprisingly, still not. All right, let's check this grind out. Oh, yeah, just a little bit off. Gotta go adjust this grind. Tra-la-la. All right, now somewhere. Yeah, there we go. Cool. Didn't really take that long at all. This is always a bonus. Let's go one more. Yep. Okay. Back to the grinder. Light. Jig. Turns out the light's a little bit. I've got a little bit more light over the lathe, like directly at the lathe, than I do at the grinder. That looks a lot better. And so sometimes those little idiosyncrasies are easier to see. Did it? Still, I really feel like I'm sitting too low. I guess not, man. I mean, it bored through okay. Except where the wood's really hard. Let's go with... Boy, that's smoked too, man. All right, let's turn this guy down. Go back that far. Wow. Okay. Some hard wood in here. You know, since I'm going this far, actually, why don't we use the tools we've got? Let the lathe do as much of the work as possible. So, let's see. What is this? Well, I don't have a 3-inch, but I do have 2.5. Okay, cool. So we'll work it down with some Forstner bits. And then that way I'm pushing everything towards the headstock as opposed to off to the side. So I'm going to start off with that guy. I think graduate to that guy, and then this. One of these two is the largest I have. Or at least the largest I have that I'm willing to use. I've got 3 and 4-inch Forstner bits, but again, this lathe just goes too fast to use those. Need to go a lot slower for those bigger Forstner bits. You see all the... Oh, you can't. Let's switch cameras. I think you can probably see all that figure running through there. That's that really hard compression wood that's a little difficult to cut with the tool. More. Open more. All right, let's move that guy. Let's see. All right, that'll be all right. Slightly bigger, slightly bigger, slightly bigger. Okay. Ooh, I should wrap that guy in plastic too so he doesn't warp yet. We don't want that to happen. Too much. Okay. So I can go another inch. Okay, 2 and 5. 5. So I got another, definitely half an inch. Whoops. Let's get in my way. There we go. Ooh, man, smells like green red oak in here. Beautiful. For sure. Definitely green. Okay, move that guy over. Grab this guy. Do I have a flat spot on that one? Yes, I do. Okay. Yeah, that one's dull. I need to find somebody that put a good edge on these again. Yeah, that's what I thought was going to happen. That's why I don't hold on to this thing, just in case it gets caught up in all that wet sawdust and stuff. That'll chew your hand up quicker than anything, man. Good Okay. I think I just bumped the camera with my big noggin again. If you can see the steam coming out of there. There we go. That is okay. There we go. That's great. Let's see. I'll grab, and that'll be a good brush to use. Probably going to be warm. There's my flat spot. Okay. Whoops. Gotta set the tailstock brake, I guess. Okay, flashlight. Yeah, still got a ways to go. Let's see where we're at with that one. Just a little bit further. Not a lot though, getting around to this curve here. Should be about okay there. Use the power of the lathe, Luke. The power of the lathe. Let go. There we go. Flashy light thingy. Beautiful. Okay. Next to size. That one won't be anywhere near as warm. Let's see, there's my flat spot. So for those of you who are fairly new, I typically grind a flat spot on the shank of my Forstner bits so that one of the jaws can line up with that. It usually kind of helps keeps things from spinning inside the Jacob's chuck. Really? Okay, well, they're the same size, so I'm gonna double check my Forstner bits. This one is. I can't read it anywhere. Oh, well, I have calipers though. 2 1/8. I think that's the biggest one I've got that I'd be willing to use on this lathe. Pardon me, I had a phantom sneeze come up and had to kill the microphone. Yeah, that one's still a little warm. Still a little bit warm. That one's too small. Yep, that is the biggest ones I got. So now I'm back to working with hand tools. That's okay. Got a lot of that stuff gone. Okay, so I can put this away, and this away, and this away. There. And I think I'm going to take off one of my vests. It's actually warmer out here than I've been used to. Okay, let's get that down off. How we doing? 9:40-ish. Not bad. Okay, lose that guy. And keep the turning smockle. Oh my goodness. I am so sorry, man. It's like I have been without audio for a while. One little sneeze. Okay, so I've got the insides cleaned up. The rabbit is turned, and now I'm going to finish off the bottom because I can do that right now. The rest of it's just going to, in theory, snap into place. And I've got a really good wall thickness here, so I'm not worried about, and it's red oak. I'm not as worried about splitting this thing open, but I'm still not going to crank really hard down on it. It's an expansion hold. And it might want to split. We don't want that to happen. Okay, so I think that what I'm going to do here, oops, that is not the right tool. Oh, did it fall off? I think it did. Okay, I will grab a different bolt. Oh, no, there it is. I guess I can speed the lathe up. I've been working this whole time at the slowest speed. Just realized that yet again. That's too tall. Well, like I say, just goes to show it's not the lathe speed that makes you a better turner. It's all the practice that you do. I can turn it slow speeds or I can turn it fast speeds. Doesn't matter to me. Most of the time. Okay, how do I want to do this? This is the foot. My bottom is right about there. Do I want it to, this is like an artsy, this is an art piece. So, that means it needs to have a smaller foot. Something like that. Is that a better, I don't know if that's a better view or not. What do I want? I want this tool again. There you go. And this guy. Let's see. Do I want it flat? You know what? I'm going to turn that into a bead. Oh, that's what it is. That red oak it stuck to. It's discoloring my tool still. change my hand position. There we go. Turning red out green is not a bad thing, man. It's not bad. All right, let's go ahead. Let's see. I'll go ahead and cut this off because I'm way out here in space with an expansion hole. So I want to turn off as little as I possibly absolutely have to. I don't want to take, I want to minimize the chance of this squirting off of the chuck, basically, is what I'm saying. So I'll take as much of that mass off as I can. Oh, came out of the cut there. Here we go. Actually, what would work better is this guy. Okay. And then it's just a little bit of sanding. What did I do with the... What did I do with those? That's a good question. Fresh piece of abrasive for the rest of that. There's my 220. then, and then, and then. Oh, not those. We'll take all of these. nice burnish. Very cool. Let's grab some more of that. And where did I put the magic key? There's the magic key. Okay, so that is, oh, you know what? Let's, yeah, in my pocket. So really nice inside. Let's turn the lid. This is going to be exciting because I tried this only once before. Okay, move that aside. So I needed to taper this a bit and give myself a tenon on this side because the outside of the lid is what's in the chuck right now. So I'm going to taper this guy down. You know what? I should not have put that away. We'll just use it as a gauge. And you're in the wrong spot anyhow. Oh, that's a different one. I thought I had put my parting tool into, yeah, that'll work. The wrong drawer, but it was an old and shorter parting tool. All right, if I have to. There. That's not enough to hold on to. Not quite, anyway. That should be okay. And that'll. I'm still doing good. All right, cool. All right, now I think is the time I should drill that hole. Hey. Whoop. Hey. Let's see. And let's go with a 3/8 hole. it'll be a impossible hole. Like, how did you hollow that out? Very carefully. There we go. Okay, you know what? I actually need to, I forgot. I need to set my diameter for this guy. Let's grab that and that. Hey, Mav, how you doing? Good morning, aviators. I'm a usual working on the lathe makes things turn. How's it going, man? I don't have text-to-speech active on this particular setup because Zorin Linux is not set up to do anything about it yet. What am I reaching for a router for? It's right here in my face. It was 13, right? Yeah, 2 and 13/16. Okay, and I was going to go 2 and 15. Now I remember. Two, 1, 2, and 15. Hopefully, or maybe I should do, because that's a 16th of an inch on either side. Nah, that should be okay. Right? We'll find out. Okay, so this reads 2 and 15/16. Let's double check our guy here. So once I set this lid, it's all over. 2 and 13. Am I reading that right? 1, 2, 3. Yep, 13. I might be able to rotate the lid a little bit once it's in place. That's about right. But that's it. Double check myself. There's 2 and 15. So a little bit smaller than that, maybe. Oh, I'm not quite there, am I? Nope. I'm machining parts out of wood. Okay. So I'm going to flip this guy around again because I lost that bevel on this side. So fortunately I still have my tenon at the moment, but it will be disappearing soon. Okay. Okay, I need to do this and check chat. Yeah, okay, nothing new on chat. Good to see you, man. Thanks for hanging out, dude. So you're a latecomer, so I'm gonna explain what I'm doing here. I have this really nice piece of red oak crotchwood. It had some really, really pretty, crazy whorls and curlicues on one side, and then the feathering on the other. And it's got some other little nice little features in there that I stumbled upon, but I hollowed it this way, and I'm creating a lid that I'm going to pop in just like on a barrel, right? And hopefully everything will work out just fine. This is like the second attempt to do something like this that I've ever done. So we'll see if it works out. Actually, it's not. No, well, I mean, yeah, kind of it is, actually. I've done other like steam bending super thin pieces to get it into, and then using balloons and whatnot to fill up the inside so it matches the inside form of the piece. And then I can glue it into place, and it looks like it's, something inside the hollow form. Oh, yes. So I forget what they call these kind of boxes. Ones where you pop in a shrink fit, maybe. Not quite there. What am I? There it is. Ooh, just a wee bit more. And I mean a wee bit more. So that goes up to that. That works. Okay, then I'll take. Do I have my smaller? Yes, I do. Okay, let's clean that up a bit. I want. What do I want? I want. I'll be wanting a skew. Thank you very much. Woo, almost. then I can round that off. I'm not quite done turning this bit yet, though. Now that I think about it. Really light touch. And just take, I mean, super, super fine shavings. Very light touch. Okay, now I probably should run this in there again. Okay, let's put this away, this away, this away. Put all these things out of the way for a second. And then bring back, where'd you go? There you are. Okay, well, let's give it a try. Whoops, what just fell? So there's my lid. Let's move this guy aside. I want to try to get these guys together as soon as possible since they're both drying at the moment. Let me see. Oh, yeah, that's just a little bit too big. All right, I got to take this down just a little bit more. It's just a scope. All right, so I should have only added a 1/16 of an inch, not 2. But fixable. Okay, spindle gouge. Oh man, I really do not like it when that happens. Oh, do not care for it at all. Sudden, loud, and egregious noises. Not a fan of. Okay. Spin a gouge. Yeah, from this side would be better. Okay, hopefully. You know, I really should. Let's see if I can hold on to this. on that bead. Okay. Because I really should make this not a sharp edge. Okay. Hopefully this will do. Let's find out. Okay. So, just to double check that I'm not going to... Oh, I see. Okay. Let's see. Let's do it this way. I need to take it down just a little bit more in thickness. Something like that, I think. Double check against this. Oh, I see. All right. All right, I got to taper this a little bit more on the top, and then hopefully I can seat this lid because that's only sitting there drying. Oop, hey now, there will be none of that. I think I need to hit abrasive right here. Excuse me. And I never did hit that. Oh, and another thing. I didn't do this either. Oh, I missed a little bit with that, so let's try that again. Let's see, I need some... Oop, there we go. Yeah, that'll do. Not that big chunk, though. Why does that feel weird? All right. Last check, I hope. I mean, should be okay. Let's find out. All right, so I need to point it that way. I don't know if I can drive this in there. I'm really hesitant, man. Oh, geez. I'm really hesitant. So I think actually, yeah, I think I'm going to take it down in diameter a little bit more. I just don't think that it is quite right. Let's find the right direction. I don't know if that's going to go. I wonder if I can make an adjustment. Let's see if I can do this. It's running true. Okay. Okay, cool. So move that, move that. Whoa, come here, you. All right, that gets put away, that gets put away, this stays. That gets put away, that stays. That's what fell my skew, and that's what I need next. Where are you? There you are. Oh, that's not it. Anything else fall? Nope. Okay. Just needs to go over there. I need this guy. So what I'm going to try to do here is too tall. Is make a little bit of a bevel to slide this down in, hopefully. At least get the thing started. That might do it. That might do it right there. I'm going to take a little bit more off here. It's going to be really, really close. Okay, that might do it. So it needs to go in that direction right there. Oh man, so close. So close. Okay, that is the right grain direction right there. Man, oh man. Well, here goes nothing, man. I'm going to try it. Let's see. I wonder if I cut that to the right size. Yeah, that would do. So let's do that. First, let's do it this way. And the moment of truth is coming right up. Okay, where'd it go? There it is. That's wider. Yep. try to take too much off at once. Oop, come here, come here, come here. All right, here we go. Let's see what happens. Come on. I'm hoping this works. Ooh, that slid out. No, no, no. It's gonna, I think it might go though. If I can line it up right. Whoops. Spit it out again. Okay, okay, I think I just need to take this and bevel it just a little bit more. And I think it'll get in there. I'm so close, man. How we doing? Ah, well, we're almost at the end of the broadcast too, but I'm so close. Okay. Lift that up. Actually, I don't want to do it that way. I want to do it that way. Well, it doesn't seem to be working as well as I would like. That do it? Maybe? Uh-oh, what did, there it is. Okay, I think that's it. I think that's the magic one right there. Oh man, it's sticking in there too. Pencil, pencil, pencil. Move this guy. Oh, wrong side. There we go. Okay, I think that will do it. Where is the piece of abrasive that I had is now missing. Probably fell down. I want to sand that surface because it'll be really hard to sand later with this lid in place. Okay, all right. I think well, we'll find out, but I think I got it. So that needs to go. Come on. I might be able to rotate this lid. I don't know. Whack-a-mole. Ha 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 ha! Yes. Okay. There we go. It is smaller than I would like, but we'll wait and see how this dries. It is. I'm hoping that will pinch all that together close. That will be really cool if it did. Uh-oh, hold on. Come on. And I didn't split. Come on. Boy, moving this is going to be tough. Where is my... That might work. Yeah, that might work. Nope. Come on. Oh. Will that go? Nope. that go? I think so. There we go. Trying to spin this guy so it lines up so that when it dries. Okay, there we go. Cool. Set that aside. Alrighty. That was a lot of fun. Let's kill that guy. And what do we got? Oh, Mav. Mav says, "Are you ignoring chat?" No, I wasn't trying to. I don't have text to speech working, so I'm trying to pay attention. But yeah, I didn't quite. I missed these ones. That's super. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. Super talented. Cups need bases to hold on to. Yes. Yes, indeed. So hopefully this will be a really nice hollow form soon. That'll be cool. All right. Thank you very much for joining me this evening. It's Woodturning Wednesday. My name is Dave, and I'm a wood turner. I started turning as therapy for PTSD. Found out I had a knack for it, but I also fell in love with it and fell in love with teaching it. So I started this channel to become a better teacher and a better demonstrator and a better turner, because practice is the secret sauce. There's no way around it, unfortunately. Um, yeah, practice, practice, practice. So anyway, I want to thank you for joining me and for the support this evening. Hanging out in the background and participating in chat when you can. Of course, I kind of missed a few of the messages in chat, but with this setup, I just don't have the speech. I'll have to remember, uh, keep it more in the front of my mind that I need to pay more attention to chat when I've got this setup going. Yeah. That's cool. I'm looking forward for that to that drying. That I'm hoping that'll be pretty doggone cool. Anyway, I hope that you all stay friendly. I hope that you enjoy the rest of your evening. And I definitely hope to see you next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, 8 to 11 Eastern Standard Time, right here on Twitch. Thanks again, folks, and good night.